Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Max. I am the fast-talking flipper. Angie, my better half, she's inside playing video games because it's Sunday afternoon, and we don't usually work on Sundays. We try not to, at least, just because, you know, that's our one day to try to get away. We might go to yard sales or something. Speaking of which, that's what we are. We are resellers. We buy locally, low, yard sales, estate sales, thrift stores, that kind of thing. We sell online somewhere else for more money and make a profit. We do that part-time, and we try to turn as much as possible. We don't use it as our full-time income, but it is a nice side hustle for us. Last year in 2023, we did $103,000 in sales. Granted, that's not what we made. Yet to be determined what we made because we haven't done our taxes yet, but that is what we sold. So you can guess we made a pretty sizable chunk of change there. So that's the kind of thing. Watching as we sit here and speak, as I sit here and talk, watching Big Bro Auctions. He's got a live going. Met him in a chat yesterday, and that's what this topic is about, is other resellers on YouTube. I met this fella in a chat yesterday. He said he's from Indiana, where I am as well. He's up near Indianapolis, and I just wanted to drop in for his live and see what he's all about, because I like making friends in this space. And that's part of what you will see if you comment on other people's stuff. If you get to following other people's stuff, you will become a part of their community, and as such, you'll get accepted in, and not really accepted, but you know, you kind of get grouped into the camaraderie that goes with things when they go live or whatever. Everybody knows you, that kind of thing. So one thing that has happened since I've been doing YouTube, and it's been a little over a year, about a year and 3 months, a year and 4 months, something like that, is that I've gotten to know some other YouTubers. And of course, we chat outside of YouTube. We get on Instagram, we get on Facebook, we do, you know, stuff like that to chat. And a topic got brought up yesterday or the day before about other YouTubers and how they get a lot of sales from their YouTube audience, but they don't believe that they do. And immediately came to mind was Kevin. And now let me preface this. Let me take a step back. Anything I talk about in this video is not talking about these people negatively. I really think Kevin is a great reseller. I really think that all these people I'm going to talk about are great resellers. You'll know when I talk negatively about somebody, but these aren't it. This is not, the point is not to talk negatively. It's just to discuss facts, or what I perceive to be as the truth of what is going on, and not necessarily talk negatively about them, but sometimes the facts are a negative light. And you'll see what I mean here in a minute when I show some numbers of what I am seeing. But immediately came to mind was Kevin. He gets a lot of sales that come through that are viewer sales, and good for him. I wish I got that kind of support. I don't wish I was that big of a channel, because good Lord, that's a lot to keep up with. Him on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, everywhere there. That in itself is full-time enough, plus doing the reselling on the side. Now, he has an army of workers, whether he wants to admit it or not, and to say it directly on TV, directly on YouTube, he's got an army of workers. He's got his wife, he's got his 17 kids, his whole commune there. He's got the compound that, you know, lives with them. The dogs and cats are even in on it. They, you know, they carry the packages to the post office for him. Everything is going great for him, and he's got a lot of people that can help him. He hires people in. He uses his family. Like, he's still got, his parents retired 23 years ago, but he's still got them, whoosh, you know, he's cracking the whip, getting them to work. It's crazy, but it works for him. You know, I'm expanding on that a little bit, but you get what I'm saying. So then the topic turned to our buddy Chris. Chris, Old School Picker. Old School Picker has been around for a long time, and he was one of the first people I started watching when I started watching reselling YouTube. And I really like his demeanor. I liked his poise. I liked his presentation, and I liked how he did things nice and neat and organized and in a steady manner. That's what was appealing about him. And because of how he did things, he had a very strong base and a very strong following that every video would come out, you would see that he'd get 1,000 views easily, and he would, you know, go on above there. So he had a really good base. And if you remember, if you ever watched him, you would see that he had all of his shelves full of people that were sponsoring a shelf, myself included. I did sponsor shelves at one point because I wanted to help out. I wanted to keep him afloat and help him feel like what he's doing with YouTube was profitable. Because if you don't know, you can get paid from doing YouTube. YouTube. We get paid a little bit. We don't make any kind of serious money. It took 3 months to make $100. So, it's really not a ton of money, but I consider this an ancillary part. I kind of look at it as, if you had a sawmill and you're making boards, what do you do with the sawdust? Well, you get the machinery together to make fiberboard, and you make press board, that kind of thing, and you utilize that sawdust as an ancillary kind of thing. We're already pulling. We're already, picking. We're already doing that kind of stuff. Let's add a couple more minutes to our daily routine and edit videos, and from that we can throw them on YouTube in the hopes that eventually maybe they'll start paying off and making some decent money. It's going to take a while before that turns into a decent profit, but we'll see how it works. So with Chris, we wanted to make it to where he would continue to produce the kind of stuff that we wanted to see, and in that he did. For a long time, several years he was doing it, and he amassed over 7,000 subs, and I believe he had a really, really good following. So we went to look at his store now that he's no longer doing YouTube. He's off of YouTube. He's no longer doing the Two Old Guys podcast. I don't know what his future looks like for reselling, but I see immediately that he's still posting 10 a day. He's been doing 10 a day for, I believe, over a year. I believe that over a year he's been dropping 10 a day every day, and he does that between the hours of 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. He does one an hour and gets good traction on his store. Now, Chris has never been a high dollar selling item kind of guy. That's the way that his store has worked. He sells what he finds, and that's perfectly fine. It's good for him. He is, turning some kind of volume. But we used to watch Chris, and Chris would sell, 15, 20, 30 items in a weekend. And I was kind of shocked to look at his store and see that right now in his store it says he has 1,169 items. Now, I'll tell you right now, looking on eBay, right here, looking on this part of eBay, this number is not going to be 100% correct. And the way that I know that is that I looked at my number and it said I had 936 items. Then I go into my actual store on my app and I have 914, something like that. So that number is going to be up or down, and it's going to be off. It could be significant. I've known some people it's been off by 200. So I can't really go by that item number, but we'll get close enough that we can do it. So he's got 1,169 items, and looking down through his store, I was just, glancing through here. He's got nothing that sticks out to me as, I guess I should focus on the screen here. Nothing that sticks out to me as bad items. It's all decent stuff. His pictures look good. His presentation looks good. I can nitpick what I believe would be better stuff to do or different things to do things. That's cool. That's real cool there. The Belden gas station. Oh man, I might make him an offer on that. I might really send him a message and make an offer. That's cool. Stuff like this. I could nitpick that, saying that the photo's off center. That's not a big deal. It's really not a big deal. His prices look like they're on par. They look like they're right. The store looks good. I would add maybe some light to taking pictures. I'm nitpicking. I'm really nitpicking. There's nothing major going on, and I'll compare my store. I don't care at all. I will compare my store to his and show that I nitpick my store too, if I can figure out how to get to my store. You don't go to your store very often, so and I can't even find where my store is. I can't even go to my store. But I don't know how to get there. I really don't. I guess I have to. There it goes. There's my store. So to compare my store to his, not much different. I try to get my pictures centered. I try my best to do everything with that. Try to get lots of lighting. Now you can see like these old ones here where this picture isn't as good a quality as that picture. That's because that's when I was first starting. And I admit right away that these pictures sucked. And that backdrop sucked. And everything about it sucked. Just that was kind of how it was. Maybe we could get some more lighting on that. Maybe I could have cropped that a little better. But it's one of those things where you're just not going to go back and edit it over the kind of couple bucks that it's going to bring you. So in comparison, his store to my store, I'll say that he's right on par with where I'm at. And I believe that I do pretty well. I'm not going to, bang my own bell, but I think I do pretty well. So I say that he's right in line with that. He should be doing decent. The issue that I see with his store is right here, and this is in his solds. We see 187 items sold, and that's over 90 days. That means he's 2 items a day, a little over 2 items a day, and that's way, way, way down. And now this is where the thing comes into play is I believe he had a really strong following, and I don't think he knew how strong his following was and how much it was boosting what was being sold for Chris. And I believe that there are other YouTubers out there like Kevin. I think that if he stopped with YouTube, eventually his sales would come down. You can see Kevin's got a good online following because he does so well on Whatnot, and he's selling regular run-of-the-mill stuff. Same thing with Dave, selling regular run-of-the-mill stuff. He isn't selling anything spectacular on there, and he's getting good returns on it. But the thing about Whatnot is there's a social media aspect of it. If you watch me here and you can have live interaction with me and purchase something from me on Whatnot, that's appealing to some people. They'll get on there just to make the buy. And we've all been guilty of it, I'm sure, if we've been involved in one of the charity sales or anything along those lines. That's kind of the social media aspect. So what happens when YouTube goes away? I believe this is what it is. I really believe we have 187 items, and it's, just regular old stuff that he would normally sell. That's a decent lot there, 1/6 scale rifle, weapon, gun lot. It's just the regular old thing of what would normally sell. If we really want to see what the good stuff was that he sold in the last 90 days, looks like he sold something since when I clicked it last. Now, for me, I know this number is off as well because you go to mine and it says 514 or something along those lines, and it's actually like 594. So my number's off. This could be off a little bit for him. Yesterday it was at 183. I filmed this yesterday, but I didn't like the way I sounded, and I didn't want to. I really don't want to make you think I am beating up on Chris, because I am not. I'm just stating what I see as the facts. Chris does a great job. I believe that these are what's happened to the store. So here's what we have. He's sold some really good stuff here. He's got some high dollar sales. It's just there's not much volume there to choose from. So when you don't have a ton of volume and you have a store that's full of lower dollar items, you're not going to sell a lot of higher dollar items. It's just not possible. So that's what I believe. I believe that, some of these YouTubers that we're watching, some of their sales are being inflated. So if you're watching them to get a sense for how things are selling or how eBay is doing, you have to understand that some of them are inflated, and the sales that they're getting are coming from producing content here in the YouTube space. And when that goes away, the store can really, really, be in shambles, really. I don't believe that we get very many YouTube sales. I only know of a handful. And one of the ones that I know of was an accident. And when I talked to him, with Shad Juice here on YouTube, when I talked to him, I said, "Hey man, did you get the glasses and everything arrive safe?" He's like, "Yeah, what glasses? What are you talking about?" And I said, "The glasses that you ordered from me." He didn't even know he ordered them from me. He wasn't ordering them from me. He was ordering them from eBay and just happened to find mine. So that's how that worked. I think Shagan, I'ma Resell It, has ordered from me. And I'm sure there are other people, but I can't think of them right now, and I'm terrible because of that. But I know that there's been a couple of sales that I've made that are from YouTubers. So I don't believe that we're seeing a lot of traffic because of what we're doing on here. I'm a small potatoes kind of guy in the YouTube space when it comes to reselling, that kind of thing. So what do you guys think? What's your take on this? Do you believe that this is true, that you see some people out there who sales are propped up because of YouTube? Or do you think that it's the other way around? They're really doing really well, and it's shocking that they don't get more sales from YouTube. Remember, like, subscribe, comment, share, do all that kind of stuff down below, and I'll see you on the next one.